Hello everyone, it is Gabrielle Victoria from risinghighpriestess.com coming at you today with your shade and shadow reading. So before we get started, you know I always want to make sure that you are hydrated. You has your water, right? How's your hydration levels? Are you ashy? Did you moisturize your skin today? Good. And most importantly, are we minding our own business? Let's stay in our lane, okay? All right. So as usual, I will pull out 4 cards. And you simply think of a number in your head as I'm shuffling. Whatever number calls you, 1, 2, 3, or 4, I should say. The card that calls you is the card that you want to get your reading for today. And once I'm done reading, if that card resonates with you, I want you to drop me a heart below and let me know why. Tag a friend, share the video. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Rising High Priestess. Make sure you are following me over on risinghighpriestess.com. And more importantly, take your tail over to YouTube. Search Rising High Priestess. Smash that subscribe button, the like button, and turn your notification bell on, okay? And without further ado, let's get into it. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. A deep breath in, a deep breath out. Think of your number, and let's begin. The cards have been pulled, and let's get started, okay? So for card 1, the shadow card that comes up for card 1 says, imagining more. The imagining more shadow card comes up when we have self-limiting beliefs when it comes to ourselves, when it comes to how we see our future, how we see our lives unfolding, how we see our love lives unfolding, even how we see our children progressing. We can have some really self-limiting beliefs that become extensions to our children. You know, your child may come to you with this crazy idea like, hey mom, I'm gonna be president, and you're like, okay, whatever, bye. And even though intentionally that may not be what you want to say, that may not be what you truly feel, subconsciously you may have a belief system like, hey, this family, girl, we only get so far in life. We only do so much. Our calling, we are cooks in this life, or we are service people, or, you know, we're students, or we're teachers. Like you're thinking too big, you're dreaming too big. And so subconsciously, you begin to shut down your child's dreams. And so the imagining more shadow card comes up when it's time for you to take off your self-limitations. Take off your own blocks. What's causing this blockage? What causes you not to see a future beyond your present situation? What causes you not to see a future past your past traumas? Is it the trauma being unhealed? Is it the trauma being nurtured still? Whatever it is, this card is wanting you to pay some attention to how you limit yourself in your life and how you limit other people who are connected to you in your life, be it your spouse, be it your children, be it your parents even. When do you shut people down for dreaming? Because the more you shut down other people's dreams and beliefs, I'm a little tongue-tied tonight, I needed water. The more you are internally shutting yourself down as well. You are the great magician in your life, but only you have to believe that, and you have to see that. No one else can breathe that life into you. No one can breathe your manifestations into life for you, sweetheart. It is you. But you have to be willing to see that. You have to be willing to see past your circumstances. You have to be willing to see past whatever catastrophe, whatever chaos you find yourself living in right now, and imagine a life beyond that. So that was for card 1. And if this card resonated with you, drop me a blue heart below in the comments, okay? And if you know someone who needs that card, tag them in it, okay? We all know somebody who knows somebody. Your next card that comes up, card 2, says memory lane. I don't want to get too close because you know my light starts acting funny. It says memory lane. The memory lane shadow card comes up when we are living in our past, when we're stuck in repetitive cycles that lead us nowhere. Oftentimes the place that it does lead us to is heartache. It leads us to pain. It leads us to suspiciousness and suspicious behavior and untrusting behavior. It leads us to doubting ourselves. It leads us to wondering if we're worth it or we're worthy of love. And so the memory lane card comes up to say, hey, get out of your past trauma. Get out of that past relationship. Get out of that past failure. Get out of whatever that is that keeps you sucked into the belief that I don't deserve better, or this is why all bad things happen to me. I have that happen a lot with clients. They'll say, I always feel like bad things happen to me. And I always say, why? And their point of reference is always something from the past. It's nothing that they're even doing in their present moment that should nurture that belief system. But they're so involved in who they used to be. They don't see the beautiful person, the capable person that they have evolved into becoming in the present. And so the memory lane card is saying, find a way to check yourself when you're walking down memory lane. It's okay to look back for a picture or two. It's okay to look back for a reference every few moons, you know? Sometimes we got to look back and be like, ooh, look how far I came. Look how well I'm doing. Look what I learned. Look how much I've grown. Or, oop, this is why I can't do that. I remember. The problem becomes when we live in that space. When we live in our past self and we can't let go of who we used to be. Sometimes this can also be when people had a heyday in the past. You know, they feel like their best years are behind them. And they're so hung up on those years that they can't see the life they're creating today. They can't see that whatever they may have lost in the past, it was needed to go. It needed to leave. It may not have been built on solid ground. It may not have been built with security intact. And so the universe said, hey, we got to do this all over again. We just had to show you could do it. Okay, but we got to do it right this next time. We want this to last. We have to do it right. And so if you catch yourself daydreaming a little too often, if you catch yourself overly depressed, depression is also a sign of living in the past. Anxiety is when you're living in the future. You're always worried about what's coming next, what's about to happen. That's anxiety. But depression lives in your past. It's either in past regrets or feeling like you've lost something and you can't get it back. Find a way to snap yourself to the present. Find a way to ground yourself into the present. Find a way to bring yourself back into today. I don't care how you do it. Some people go into water. Some people go for a run. Some people write it out. Find a way to channel that energy creatively. All right? If this card resonated with you, drop me a pink heart below. And if you know someone, tag someone. For those of you who thought of card 3, this card is for you. The card that came up says, let it rain. And it has a crown on it. There we go. That's a little better. The let it rain shadow card comes up for people who are exhausted. There's no other way for me to say that. You're tired. You're tired, and you're tired of acting as if you have it all together. You're tired of people coming to you because you're the only resource everyone has. You're your mother's resource, your kid's resource, your coworker's resource, your best friend. But no one checks on you. No one taps and says, hey, how you doing? Do you need some help? Do you need something? Is something wrong? And it's starting to wear on you. It's starting to feel as if the gift of being strong is now becoming your burden. It's now becoming your curse. And so in a weird way, your blessing is now a shadow. Because in some orbit, you feel that you're not able to be human. You're not able to have a moment of weakness. You're not allowed to have a moment where you need to just catch your breath and figure out your next step or figure out what you did wrong. Yes, your crown is heavy. I'm sorry, you're the strong one. I'm sorry, didn't nobody ask God to give you those muscles or the ancestors. No one said to do that, but that's your gift. But you're putting on yourself the burden of having to always be strong. You're the one not creating boundaries in those relationships and not creating limits and not utilizing the word no. No is your best friend. You know your limit. How you strong with everything else except for your boundaries? How are you strong with everyone else except for when it comes to protecting yourself? You can protect everyone else, but when people start infringing on you and your space and your time, your throat chakra clogs up. Why? Bear the blessing, but do not grip to the curse. The curse is in your mind. The curse is in your head. Use your throat chakra. Feel secure enough to say, if I say no to these people, they're not going to love me any less. And if they do, they're not my people anyway. Because your mother will understand if you're tired. Your child will understand, mommy need a minute. They may still get on your nerves. I'm not going to say it's going to get any better, but I'm just saying they understand, mommy need a nap. But as far as everyone else, your tribe will understand. Your village will understand. If you need to ask for help, or if you need a break, or if you need to just say no. And for no other reason than no. No is a period. It's not a comma. It is a complete sentence. No. Let's utilize that word more this week, card 3, okay? All right. And finally, for those of you who envision card number 4, the card that comes up for you as your shadow today. Oop, let me backtrack. If you identify with card number 3, drop me a yellow heart below, okay? All right, and make sure if you know someone to tag someone. So back to card 4. The shadow that comes up for you today says death is in the healing. And this is your card. There. And it says death is in the healing. Death is in the healing comes up when we have intense shadow work that we need to tend to. There's some things from our lives and our past, our childhood, our past love life that are just too heavy. They're too heavy for us to keep carrying. And it's time for us to offer ourselves that closure. It's time for us to offer ourselves that peace. Because truth be told, closure comes from within. It doesn't come from anyone else. It doesn't come from any outside influence. And so this card comes up and says, in order to give yourself the healing, you have to revisit the thing that you have put away. You have to kind of go into that closet and start pulling out the things that you've packed away and buried away and say, you know what? Did I pay proper attention to this? Did I pay proper time to this? Did I make peace with this situation? And making peace with the situation, or even making peace with a person, is not always, hey, I'm back in your life, you're back in my life, you have access to me. Because some of the things we need to make peace with, especially from our childhood, the people are no longer here, or they're gone somewhere, or if they are around, you're totally disconnected. And so therefore, the peace and the closure that you need to give yourself is realizing that something happened to you, or something was done to you, or something hurt you, and it wasn't your fault. You were not the cause for it. And this is putting that blame and that accountability back on the person who did that action, instead of carrying around not only the pain of feeling it, but the guilt of feeling as if you're the cause for it happening. Because no one offered an apology. No one offered an explanation. It just is what it is, you know. People have a very cavalier way of moving on after they have offended you or hurt you or harmed you or caused you pain, especially children. It's as if, you know, you're supposed to just deal with it. It happens, you know. And this card is saying, just because everyone else may have disregarded the situation, or even you, it does not give you an excuse to disregard yourself. It does not give you an excuse to disregard your own pain. You do not need outside validation to validate that you went through an experience. You were there. And so this card is saying, tend to you the way you wanted your mother to. Tend to you the way you wanted your father to. Tend to you the way you wanted someone to notice you needed them to, and no one saw it. Tend to those issues you had, those pains you had, whatever you've been carrying it. It's time to let it go, and the only way to do it is tend to it. That, my loves, are your shadow readings for today. If this card number 4, resonated with you, drop me a red heart below. Tag someone if you know someone. Please continue to share the videos. Make sure to follow me across the interwebs. I will be coming at you with more videos throughout this week. I am grateful and gracious for all the support you guys extend to the priestess. And I will catch you on the next video. All right? Bye.